It's time to get some projects done around the house. The girls are heading to Kendall's parents for 2 nights.
This is so much stuff. This is insane. We should just never go. Just yesterday, I was saying I wanted to travel more. No, I take it all back.
So I thought it would be a good time to do some projects that have been on the list for months, or maybe even years at this point. I really wanted to tackle this fireplace situation. The stone is dated, and I hate how the TV looks mounted above it. Yes, we are considering getting rid of our TV. But in the meantime, these cords have become a safety hazard because Sealy has started crawling. I want to redo the entire facade and also take the opportunity to hide the cords in the wall. But Kendall and I can't seem to agree what kind of style or design we want it to kind of take on. I'm confident we can overcome it if we can just set aside enough time to throw into the black hole of Pinterest. So for now, I have a couple other projects on my list while everybody's gone and the house is empty. Build some cabinet doors, change the bathroom faucets that are too short and splash water everywhere, fill holes in the ceiling, swap this kitchen light switch so that it isn't behind the fridge, clean up the TV, install a dryer vent cover on the outside of the house, and finally, hoping to refinish this cutting board that somebody put a hot pan on and burned.
Exciting, we're pulling over to feed the baby. In the beautiful Centralia, Washington. No, we found a Starbucks. Well, we made it about halfway. Someone needs to stop for some milk. Yeah. And we're getting coffee. I got cut off from you. Did you want me to text them? I'm breaking to feed the baby, so we can't.
Starbucks.
Vanilla bean frappuccino for Sealy. I'm kind of disappointed and frustrated that there's no baby changing table in the restroom at Starbucks. I mean, I would think that Starbucks would have that. But here we are in the car. Has to be the front seat because the back is totally full. So we're gonna do our best. Hold your wipes.
So I ordered all the pieces for my home improvement projects off of Amazon like 2 weeks ago. So I don't even remember what I got. Okay, this is actually a life jacket for Sealy. So that's not useful right now. Here's champagne glasses. Okay, we might have an Amazon problem. Okay, here we go. I think this is the faucet here. Try to make it all luxe by putting it in these fancy bags, but this was like $30 faucet. I actually like these. That's kind of cool. Has some, you know, nice modern design. It feels kind of cheap. It's very lightweight, but I think it's gonna be a nice little upgrade for not very much money. So I have 2 of those. Here's the dryer vent. This was actually more expensive than the faucets. Some nice, you know, metal louvers there that look good and operate very well. Keep the rats out of the dryer line. Oh, these are towels. So this whole situation ended up looking kind of ridiculous, but let's get to work.
That was really not a very good drive.
Really?
Hi.
Unpro. Sealy girl.
Come here, girl.
Hi, Sealy girl.
She was mad.
She was just
She's mad.
crying or scowling the whole time.
Were you
happy
scowling? No way.
You'd be surprised how often it doesn't happen.
We're done.
I don't know, but whatever.
We came to visit Grandma. It went well.
need an easy win to start the day. I feel like the water faucets have big potential to totally screw up and leak all over the place and ruin the day. So I'm gonna start with the dryer vent, which only requires 2 tools. Do you ever look at your space and wonder if people see it the same way as you do? I'm a realtor in the Seattle area, and whenever I go out house hunting with clients, we always find a couple houses that we always wonder aloud, like, how could people be living like this? Whether it be hoarding or mold issues or pets that have taken over the home or kitchen cabinets with no doors. I think it's because people can't see their spaces clearly around themselves. This is kind of a terrible, gross example, but do you remember in biology class the example of a frog that you throw into boiling water, it jumps right out, but if you put it in a pot of lukewarm water and gradually increase the heat, it sticks around until it boils to death. We just don't notice these gradual changes that are happening around us. So what do people see when they come into my home? The former homeowners painted it this like kind of bland beigey yellow that we just haven't been bothered to change. And we hired a handyman to install a fan in the bathroom because there wasn't any other ventilation except for the window. And I thought, oh, I'm gonna save some money and I'll fix all the drywall damage that happens when you do electrical work. But lo and behold, there's still a giant hole next to the switch that he installed. And then the kitchen cabinets. I keep coming back to the kitchen cabinets. That's a project for tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. But when we moved in here, there was just like open shelving in the kitchen. So I built some cabinets and just haven't built up like the motivation or the gumption to put doors in them. Doors are finicky, they're hard. You know, I'm really good at getting like 90% of the way through a project, and then that last 10%, it trips me up. I either never do it, or I hire it out, or it takes a year to complete. And now, what do people think when they come into my home? It's a disaster right now. I'm gonna clean up some cardboard and then go to bed.
Portland.
Woo!
Let's do Portland.
These three.
So I found a quiet corner in Powell's Books. Joanna and my dad and I came down. We left the baby at home with Grandma, and we're now at Powell's in Portland. You've probably heard of it, but it's the largest independent bookstore in the world. So a very Portland experience. You're like, I just want to better myself. There's so much to learn. There's so much to read. So I'm just sitting here this evening on the porch of my childhood house, chatting with my childhood neighbor, watching some YouTube videos, and hanging out with the birds in this nest. There's like 3 or 4 little chicks in a nest in there with the mom protecting them. and the mom just comes out and like sits right here on the chair, like no big deal, right next to me. It's pretty crazy. So, very peaceful night. Baby's asleep. Parents are watching TV.
Good morning. Welcome to the moment that I've been dreading. Let's get cutting. So I'm just using plywood panels for the doors here. Pretty simple. But with plywood, you risk everything warping over time. So to try and prevent that, I'm gluing and nailing on a couple of support pieces. And it also adds kind of a cool, modern, sleek accent. Well, I didn't get everything on the list done, but I did tackle some major projects, and Kendall had a good trip to her parents, so I'd count the weekend as a success.
Just get ready for camp.